Hey everyone, welcome back to the Stoner Car Care YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about glass stripper. Why do you need it, when to use it, and how to use it. Stick along with us while we cover that. All right, so Invisible Glass Glass Stripper is going to ultimately restore your glass down to a clean, fresh finish. So why you'd want to do that would be, one, let's say you had some water spotting on the glass, some sprinkler system sprinkled onto the glass. Or let's say you had a shower door that has water spots onto it. The glass stripper is going to do a great job at removing water spots and just removing any kind of film that you have on the windshield. Secondly, let's say you wanted to apply some type of water repellent to the windshield or any coating for that matter. This is going to be able to get down to the bare glass to give you the best chances of having a good bond between whatever coating you're putting on and the glass surface. Here at Stoner, we're really transparent about what our products do and what they don't do, so we're going to set the right expectations for you. What this glass stripper will do is clean that windshield completely from residues, oils, ceramic coatings, any surface layer things that are on top of the glass, even some mineral deposits from like water spotting, stuff like that. What this won't remove is it won't mow down the glass to the point of removing scratches. Or if you have a water spot that's been on there for a few years, it's probably actually dug into the glass, and that's called etching. And it won't remove etched glass, because to do that, you would need to take every high spot in this windshield, like an etch or a scratch is essentially, there's a high spot that the normal glass is, and then that's been dug down in, so it's like a mountain and a valley. This is not going to mow down that mountain low enough to make that valley match and essentially remove the scratch or remove the etching. It is possible, but it's a couple hours worth of polishing and things with a rotary or something that'll spin at a couple thousand RPMs to get that much glass worn down to the point where it's even again. So we're trying to be really clear about this. This is to clear out those valleys. This is to clear off the tops of those mountains in the glass. This is to clear out any kind of residue, ceramic coatings off the surface of the glass, not re-level it for you. So Brett, if you could zoom in here, I'm gonna show you some scratches, chips, maybe some etching, so you can understand if your windshield looks like this, don't think this product's gonna fix it for you. All right, so we're zooming in here. It's hard to see even when you're driving, but this windshield is about 120,000 miles old. So you can see there's little chips and stuff from driving behind a salt truck or from a dump truck rock coming up over its 120,000 mile life. It eventually puts these little nicks in the window. And to remove something like that, you need to be doing some high-speed polishing for a considerable amount of time. So again, mow that down to the lowest level of those scratches to remove them. This glass stripper, while it may be possible with enough elbow grease, nobody realistically is buying this product and expecting it to remove that kind of stuff. So just keep in mind, this is to clean the windshield, remove all the ceramic coatings, but not to level it out to remove scratches and chips or etching. Okay, so we're gonna show you a little bit of what this glass stripper does. This windshield right here has a coating on it currently. You can tell it does because see all these beads that are coming up on there. So that water tension is being held right there in the spot, and then when wind would hit this, that water would obviously run off. So that's why it's important to have a rain repellent on your windshield. But if you're trying to put on a new one, you wouldn't be able to remove that because the new one wouldn't bond very well to the current one. So we're gonna start off by just cleaning off this windshield with just a glass cleaner. And the reason why we do this is just to make sure there's no foreign contaminants on the glass surface when you start. Yes, we are gonna be stripping it clean, so that's gonna be doing that job. But let's say there was a metal fragment or some kind of foreign object on the glass here. When you're going through and doing the abrasion of the glass stripper we're gonna show in a second here, that has an opportunity to scratch your glass. So we're just gonna clean it once, make sure that we're starting off on a clean piece of glass, not necessarily a stripped glass, but a clean glass. Okay, so now we've gotten the preliminary clean of just a glass cleaner to make sure there's no foreign contaminants on the glass, like a metal shaving or something along those lines. Now we're gonna break out the glass stripper here. The kit is gonna include everything you need to do the job. So it has the glass stripper bottle, and it has a convenient applicator in here to apply it with. Now we have a lot of people that ask us, well, if I'm doing a lot of these, or let's say I'm doing a bus or some kind of thing that has a lot of surface area, can I use something larger than the included applicator? Of course you can. You can use any kind of pad that's gonna be able to provide abrasion onto here. So a lot of people end up using like a dual action polisher or rotary polisher, something along those lines. You can do any kind of mechanical method of applying this that you feel comfortable with. We just include that to make it convenient. So shake it up real quick. And we're just gonna put some on the applicator. Then I'll typically, when I'm applying it, not 100% necessary, but I'll just drive it all the way down the surface there. That way it has the most right down the center. And then you can kind of go back and forth, spread it out. And then you're just gonna do circles just to kind of work that in there. Now how you can tell this has a coating on it, you see right here how the solution is kind of pulling away on itself. It's doing in other areas. So you're gonna keep going until that stops pulling away. So you can see it's still going. But if you give it a little scrub, that'll start to disappear. And now it no longer does that. You've removed the coating or any contaminants, and you've restored that part of the glass back to a factory finish. So it's gonna be perfectly clean. Now I don't wanna lead anyone astray and think this is gonna be taking all the scratches out of the windshield. It's not that abrasive. This isn't gonna scratch your glass. This isn't gonna mow it down to the point where you don't have scratches in there anymore. All it's doing is cleaning out every single groove, crevice, things like that, and making sure there's nothing foreign still stuck into the glass. So we're gonna go through here, doing little circles, just making sure we're giving the abrasion that's needed to remove that coating. All right, so we got half the windshield stripped here. Another question we get commonly is what if you get this glass stripper on like one of these seals or on the plastic or something like that? It's no big deal. You just take a wet microfiber, you wipe it off that area. Ideally, do it before it dries because it's a little bit easier for you, but if not, you can still get it off. So now we're gonna remove this glass stripper. All right, so I've seen a lot of people that will use a garden hose or a pressure washer to remove this. And while it's wet, it'll still work pretty well. But once it starts to dry a little bit, you kind of need some kind of agitation with like a towel or something like that to be able to get it perfectly clean. So what I found is most effective, just get 2 microfibers, make them really soaking wet. You can see these things dripping. I'll just take the first one, wipe it down here. And then you take the second one, and then go back over it. And you can even see while I'm wiping it here, down this line where I haven't stripped it, you can still see it's beading on this side of the windshield. But right where we started stripping it, it goes to a flat piece of glass. So that's how you know this windshield has been cleared of any kind of coating or residues or anything that's on that glass. So it's gonna have the best chance for whatever you're putting on there to bond to it. If you go back over this and you still see spots like, Brad, I'm not sure if you can see down here really low where I didn't quite get to the bottom, it's still pulling back right there, then you can know, hey, dry it off. We can go back through, rub it with some glass stripper if you really want to get every single part of that glass perfectly stripped. So what's nice is that if you haven't gone far enough, dry it off, do it again, be in the same boat. All right, so we're gonna spray this windshield, show you, obviously super flat here. It's all one sheet of water versus over here on this side of the windshield where it's obviously not been stripped yet. It's still coated. You still have the coating going on there. Now, some people ask like, well, why would you want it to have beads like that on your windshield versus flat and clear? Because when you're driving, the wind is hitting this and it doesn't look clear. It'll just look like it's pushing water across the windshield and it's kind of streaky and wavy. I'll see if we can get a shot with that with like a leaf blower here in a moment. But with beads like that, they all run into each other, collect and run off the windshield, leaving behind a nice clean glass you can see through. All right, so you see real wet windshield here. And I'll show you with the leaf blower what it looks like when wind is hitting it. So hopefully you can see those wavy marks where that water tension is not quite breaking and running off the windshield. It's just all collecting. Makes it really hard to see when you're driving through a rainstorm. Of course, we want to go back and put some kind of protection back on this windshield to get back to that kind of performance. But getting it down to this is going to be the cleanest possible windshield that we can have so that that coating bonds and gets the best durability for us. All right, so we of course don't want to leave that windshield in the uncoated stage. So we will apply a cleaner repel here, just put a coating back on there. But that's all there is to it for using the glass stripper. If you follow those steps, you should have the same success. Thanks for joining us in this one. We'll see you in the next one.